Rapidos, worldwide fans of the planet's hottest entertainment with an edge. I'm Enfuego here, and I welcome you once again to my namesake program, Enfuegotainment, a Rapido Fuego review. It's been a very busy October, so a hot minute since I've done one of these, but how could I not talk about the Borat subsequent movie film, which has had so many different subtitles of like offering up the bride for the glory of Pence, of like, man, there's like 2 or 3 different, and as you find out from watching, there's a couple different titles for this new like faux documentary sort of thing. I've gone on record many times to say that in contrary perspective to my father, who thinks the funniest scene in cinematic history is Jeff Daniels stuck with a malfunctioning toilet in Dumb and Dumber, I think the most hilarious thing I've ever seen put to screen was the scene in the original Borat movie where he is naked wrestling the fat man. It's one of the most insanely ridiculous things that I've ever witnessed, and I have literally cried and nearly pissed myself laughing watching that. That was a film that more so had like, it was more like social sort of, just like commentary and things like that, whereas this new film is most deaf in comparison, going more of the political route, which is fine. I mean, so much of what they document and that Sacha Baron Cohen ridicules in this, it's very funny. Just, I guess, overall thoughts, one of the biggest bits that I was a little disappointed by was that trailer was legit fire. It's Fuego, man. And it was so funny. And yet, it really outlined the predominance of the movie for me and did that just mortal sin that is so prevalent in Hollywood right now, where you basically get like the skeletal structure of the movie in the trailer, and so there's not a lot of unexpected stuff. However, a certain politician who factors very heavily into the third act, that was definitely pretty surprising. But I had to watch it a second time because of the fact that upon the first viewing, I was like, it's fun, but not as funny. I mean, it's great to get, reacquainted with this character, find out just what he has been up to slaving away after embarrassing his nation in the meantime and all that stuff. Very funny. The addition of the daughter, which you see in the trailers and stuff after that, without spoiling things, what has happened in his time in exile as far as like his neighbor and his family and his sons and all this other stuff, that the movie is still very amusingly misogynistic and ridiculously racist and all of that other stuff. But I will say it presented itself with significant more heart, especially in the third act, than I was necessarily expecting, which was good. This, while not as funny, I feel like there was something more profound that was trying to be said with it. So creds to, Cohen and his team for that. But that is the thing. The laughs don't hit anywhere near as hard. They do feel a little bit forced, and it does feel, whereas there was that awesome freshness with the original film, this did feel like more of the same. And also, whereas we're in a completely different world at this particular point, especially here in this nation of the USA, USNA, or whatever the hell he says. That, yeah, man, the America is a much scarier and as far as like national viewpoint, significantly more deplorable place. So you almost can't laugh as much because of the fact that it is just that evident and apparent with what it is trying to go after, and it's a much more scathing satire in that regard. And that's not to say that I wasn't entertained. That's not to say that there aren't some really ridiculous laughs and lots of stupid humor too. The incorporation of him having to put on disguises because people were recognizing him, and not just like the Trump bit that we see at the Pence speech, but I mean, so many of the others where he goes to the abortion clinic, where he goes to like the salon, all this different stuff. The various disguises that Borat incorporates, they're really funny. that, and honestly, you know, between the heart of the stuff with his daughter and also the cultural shock laughs, I mean, everything from a consumption of a certain creature at one particular point to, I mean, the animated bit with Melania or whatever. It's and also a cautionary tale that his daughter was told about touching her vagina and stuff like that. Like, there are some really choice comedic just beats in this, but I must admit the expanded aspects of the stuff that we saw in the trailers didn't work quite as well for me as I was expecting, so that's something to keep in mind. But I mean, as a whole, it's offensive, it really goes for the jugular, and you know, dare I say, a little bit more mean-spirited, but some may perceive that as being necessary in 2020, especially with what we find out in the third act. Whereas, if you thought that Randy Mosh was the cause of, you know, the Rona, as we like to call it here on the YouTubes, where we're trying to like dance around the issue and stuff like that, you find out some different stuff in this. But yeah, I mean, it still was very fun getting reacquainted with this character. It's going to have increased rewatchability, in my estimation, because a lot of the jokes that didn't hit as well for me the first time upon a second viewing and a less imbibed viewing, I really found them much more clever than initially on the surface and stuff like that. So, I mean, yeah, this it is not for everyone. It's incredibly offensive, and yet in the best possible way. And so, yeah, guys, I will, even though it's probably more like a 3.5 out of 5 as opposed to, you know, going for it. I don't do those half stars. I have to commit. It's definitely, I mean, last night upon the first viewing, I probably would have said 3, but today, after viewing numero dos, yes, it gets 4. This is a certified Fuego film. I know the Rotten Tomatoes people are enjoying it, and plus, like, just those bits alone of him and like, the wooden mask saved life, and he's like on his, man, get ready for some male nudity, because that's what Borat is seemingly all about. So props to Sacha Baron Cohen and his team for making something very funny and just very timely, and especially putting it up a day early, as the last debate was last night and stuff like that. Whatever your affiliation, a reminder, I am a registered independent, and I don't affiliate either left, white, left, white, oh boy, left, right, blue, red, whatever the hell it may be, man. I'm just here to cover cinema and to give a just, you know, personalized perspective about that. So I have been Fuego, y'all have been Rad Status, and yes, you can follow me on all social media sectors like Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, here on the YouTubies. A like, a share, a subscribe. It means a heck of a lot, most def. And yes, there's also going to be reviews coming up this weekend of On the Rocks, which is the new Sofia Coppola that has Bill Murray in it, another reteaming. She did Lost in Translation with him previously. Probably going to check out Rebecca. It's just been, October is the busiest month for us at The Horror Show, which is my main YouTube channel, youtube.com/The Horror Show channel. We just put up our review of Shrieker Island, the presumed final Tremors movie, unless they do some weird reboot or continuation. But yeah, was disappointed with that. If you want to see that review, we did Tremors Week. We covered all of the non-reviewed installments. We did, 5 and 6 previously, but we caught up on the franchise with the new film coming out. So there's lots of spectacular stuff there. We are in the midst of trying to plot something pretty badass and Rad Status for the actual holiday, which is Saturday this particular year, which is pretty fun. So any support over there or here is immensely appreciated. And yeah, guys, thanks for stopping by and tuning into a little bit of my thoughts about Borat subsequent movie film. And yes, until the Reel of Ka comes around once more, hasta luego, cinemigos, constant viewers and readers alike, regardless of here on the channel, whether I'm doing film, television, comics, novels here and there, whatever it may be. I greatly appreciate you. You are appreciated, to quote Pac. And yeah, I will see you next time. Until then, stay home and watch more streaming stuff, which is why this ended up on Amazon Prime in the first place.